Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. You get up and you start snapping. You snap at everybody who comes across you, be it your partner, be it your kids. And you're snapping for no reason at all. You go to the office, reach there, and somebody wishes you and you scowl. And why? The only logical, decent explanation that you have is that you are in a bad mood. And bad moods affect all of us at one time or the other, and they affect without reason or sometimes with reason, of course. But can we foretell the bad mood? Normally not. But the frontiers of the knowledge are ever widening. And now we have a technology, we have an app, we have a wearable device that can tell you 24 hours ahead that you are at risk. Not only does it track your physical activity, but it also tracks your psychological health and gives you a head up about your worrisome behavior. And that worrisome behavior can range, as I said earlier, just snapping anybody, everybody, everything, with or without reason. Now, this technology, which is used to track the physical activity at present, you see how much you have jogged, how much you have exercised, can be altered and made to track your psyche. We have become used to the fitness trackers and other electronic devices that monitor our physical health. And we always ignore our psychological health, which is as important as the physical one is. And by spotting early signs of emotional distress, the new technology, which can be incorporated in the new apps and the new wearables, can help preserve our mental well-being. Mood forecasting is one of the latest developments in psychological sciences. It forecasts the connection between the mind and the body. And the research has shown that our mental state, including unexpected bouts of anxiety, sadness, affect our body in extremely discernible manner. As a matter of fact, our attitudes are always dependent on our physical health. And the heart rate is known to be a biomarker, an emotional biomarker. The moment you are excited, your pulse quickens. Your bodies respond to the emotional distress in many ways. Sleep marker, depression, reduce your pulse, lower your blood pressure. Perspiration increases with strength and skin temperature rises. This is emotional arousal. And this emotional arousal can be reflected in our attitudes. But with the new technology, they can be forecast. And when they are forecast, they enable us to lead our life in a more balanced manner, and that is what is required. As a matter of fact, this new technology has been developed by Harvard University, Matthew Nock, who has been able to measure not only the present emotional distress or emotional arousal, but can also forecast that emotion, which enables us, as I said earlier, to lead a life which is much better. And I must acknowledge that these frontiers of knowledge enable us not only to balance our life, but also make an impact on the people around us. Secondly, we have seen that the population is growing. It's going to be 9 billion in the next year and a half. And the solar systems take a lot of space. China has come up with a floating solar station. So has Denmark. But then even the seas cannot be covered with the solar panels, because then the main function of the seas would be negated. So China is very innovative, I must say that. And they have come up with the idea to set up the first solar station. And this solar power station would be in space. China wants to be the first country in everything. So they are launching a solar power station 36,000 kilometers above Earth. And that medium-sized station shall orbit around the Earth like the moon does. And this would happen between 2021 to 25. The cost of launching is the major one, because the weight is going to be 1,000 tons. But it will be a more stable energy than the ground-based ones, because they'll be avoiding the fluctuations of weather, season, day or night. They would generate the solar energy, collect it, and then beam it to the satellites. That would enable us to have energy all the time. And then they have said that with this solar energy, this will be the first one. And then they propose to follow it up. The power station would work by using photovoltaic cells to capture solar energy, transfer to antennas that will transmit microwaves or radar to the Earth. And receiving stations would reconvert that microwave into electricity. And that will be used for our everyday purposes. And now I must welcome my new viewers on Indian Times Daily. And I'm thankful to Indian Times Daily and Rohit Majlikar for putting me live on Indian Times. Thank you, friends. Now, this is something which is going to be great, but then our health is always a major concern to us. Till now, the largest or the biggest killer has been diabetes, especially in South Asia. But it's also becoming an epidemic in countries like USA and Canada, for the simple reason that our style of living has changed, and so have our food habits. We are more sedentary, but our food is more processed and sugar heavy. Now, the main reason of the diabetes is that the pancreatic cells do not normally produce insulin in sufficient quantity. But there has been a major development, and now they are making cells, pancreatic cells, that can be modified. So instead of taking anti-diabetic drugs every day or injecting yourself in insulin, the doctors would alter your pancreatic cells and they would produce blood sugar. This has already been done in mice. And what they have done is that the whole insulin producing cells have been reprogrammed. It is a modified form of stem cells and gene therapy. And it has, as I said, been successfully tried. As a matter of fact, when it was reported on the 13th of February, one day before the Valentine's Day, they were amazed to see that the human pancreatic cells that do not normally make insulin, the hormone that regulates the sugar level and the glucose level in the blood, could produce a hormone the moment it was programmed. And this has been done in the University of Lincoln, UK. This is a invention of a great, immense potential. As a matter of fact, the system breakdown that causes the sugar levels to rise in pancreas called the B cells, who normally respond by releasing insulin, would be stimulated to start absorbing sugar. So the B cells which produce sugar or produce insulin would be altered to absorb sugar from the blood, thereby making your body stay and have a normal blood sugar level. And this was further repeated not only in the Lincoln University, but in the University of Geneva, Switzerland. And they have isolated the first cells of the human pancreas and separated them. As I said earlier, this is a major, major achievement. But the war clouds are always there. And in recently, just on the Valentine's Day, India witnessed a horrible terror attack. Now, US Army has come up with a new camouflage. And the camouflage is that it will hide soldiers, tanks, and trucks in plain sight wherever they are. Now, imagine if these trucks, which were carrying the CRPF soldiers, have been using this camouflage, the terrorists could not have seen them. So these 44 lives could have been saved. So US Army has come up with a next generation concealment technology. So person is standing before you in your sight. A tank is moving towards you, but you can't see it. Amazed? And it's not a miracle. It's a technology. There's an organization, research body called Fibrotax. It's a commercial research center. They have built an ultra-light camouflage netting system that can be used to conceal soldiers' position, vehicles, tanks, and even aircraft. This new camouflage system will mask soldiers, vehicles, installations from the state-of-art electro-optical sensors and radars. So not only human-born people, I would be able to see them, but even the radars and the optical sensors would not be able to see them. So now they are making this advanced technology to conceal troops for night vision, thermal imaging, radar, and much more. Soldiers, vehicles, relevant system will just disappear in snowy, desert, urban, or woodland environment, whatever it may be. So if you are moving in a forest, it will look as if you are trees. If you are in a desert, it will look like the sand particles, nothing more than that. So it will protect soldiers in the visible spectrum and protect them not only against the human eyes, but advanced high-end sensors and even the infrared, thermal, and counter-radar performance would not be able to penetrate this concealment. The cost of this is, for commercial purposes, going to be $480 million. But then the cost always come down, and human life can have no cost. Testing has already been done and has been there for the last 2 years. And the netting is reversible. So creating the possibility, this is something really amazing, that two distinctly prints can be there for the environment. While the outsiders cannot see through the netting, those inside that camouflage can see everything. Wow, what a development. And these new nuggets of knowledge definitely further enhance the frontiers of knowledge. Thank you.